Hello everyone, my name is Angie and welcome to Mount Flower Ministry where we keep our faith strong and our hearts open to the love of Yah. I hope you are doing well today. Today's video is reflection question number 9 of our prayer journaling challenge of 2023. And if you didn't know, I made a playlist with all the questions from the beginning of the year. My goal was to make 10 questions, but I might do 11. I don't know, we'll see. If you really like these videos, I'll do it again next year. But for the prayer journaling challenge, you don't really need anything fancy. You don't need to have like extravagant notebooks or like super cool pens, but if you want to invest in that for yourself, that's totally cool. But for me, I just found a notebook and then I just kind of put stickers on it, and I'll do a prayer journaling like walkthrough if you really want that too. I just decorated the way I wanted to. You could put like scriptures on it. For example, this is my prayer journaling 2023, and I'll probably start a new one in 2024, but these are all just scriptures that I find very inspiring. And I'll also show you the back of this because I don't know, it's just me. I love little stickers. So there's a cat, and then here is a sticker from our church when we did a women's ministry event. And so don't feel pressure to like buy a bunch of materials or anything like that. Use whatever you have. I literally had these stickers for like years and I just finally used them because butterflies to me represent transformation and flowers represent blooming and faith. So that's just me. And I also just use regular pens and pencils. So feel free to make this as creative as you want or as plain as you want, whatever helps you grow closer to the Lord and stay consistent in your prayer life. Let's get into the reflection question. So reflection question 9 is inspired by the change of seasons. I just admire all the beauty of nature and everything that is just inspiring for writers and photographers all around the world. So reflection question 9 is, what in nature reminds you of God's power, majesty, and mystery? Now for me, what reminds me of his power is mountains. It reminds me that my problems are not as big as I think they are. It reminds me that God is more powerful and mighty than any of the evil here on this earth. What reminds me of his majesty is definitely sunsets and skies and beautiful colors in the clouds when the sun is going down and when the sun is going up. Those pinks and oranges are just so beautiful to me and inspire me to want to paint more and do more art. It's always a good reminder when you wake up and you see the sun come up, and it just reminds me that every day is an opportunity to serve the kingdom and be a representative of the light. What reminds me of his mystery is definitely the stars and the moon. I've always been fascinated looking up in the sky at night and seeing this big bright moon or seeing a bunch of little stars when I used to live in like the middle of nowhere in Texas. It reminds me that God is more infinite, God is mysterious, God is more expansive than we could ever imagine. That would be my answers to this question. Something that I like about nature too is it reminds me that God is surrounding all of us, like he's with all of us. No matter where we look, we can see the beauty and the majesty of his creativity. Like God is such a creative being. Have you seen how many birds there are? Have you seen how many different flowers there are and how many different trees there are? There's just so much variety. And so I think God is also calling us to be more creative. And so with this reflection question, you could also draw like your things. You could take a picture, put a scripture next to it to remind you that God is ever present. God will be forevermore. And whenever you just feel like you need stillness or you need a sign from God, I encourage you to just go out in nature and meditate on one verse or two verses to just remind you of his presence, because he is surrounding all of us. He is within us. He dwells throughout the entire earth. And so yeah, I hope that you have a great time reflecting with God this week, and I will see you in the next video, God willing.